Hello Internet, this is PTBarpun, and this is going to be a Captain Marvel body paint. And yes, I'm aware that I went really ham on the highlighting. I've been on a comic book style kick lately and I cannot stop myself. Anyway, so I'm starting with a brown eyebrow pencil, and I map out the features that stand out to me the most. So I start working on one side first. I've got the collar going, and then there's kind of this panel. With something like this, I have a reference photo up at all times. She's like kind of this armor thing off on the side that's multi-layered. And this doesn't have to be precise, really. This is more to make sure that I'm giving myself enough room for all of the most recognizable features. So the most painful part of this is the star. I have like the very middle of my chest marked out, and then you have kind of like this fat diamond at the top. There's a fat one on the bottom and on the sides, and then there's like these skinny ones that are poking out like diagonally. It typically takes me multiple tries to get this looking remotely right. But I always start with that large center top diamond shape and then just kind of form the others around it. This star looking thing looks a little bit different depending on what comic you're looking at, what cosplay you're looking at. So it doesn't really have to look perfect, because odds are, however it ends up looking, it's going to be accurate to some reference. So now I started with the red. This is tag regular red. This is a really bright red, which is what I wanted because I was going really for more comic booky and vibrant than I was realistic, so I was really happy to find this. You notice that her shoulder thingies are also red, but I kind of hesitate on putting red on those quite yet because I want to put kind of the gold outline around it first. Anytime there are two separate areas that are the same color, I try to make sure that I have the border down first. Because if I just paint everything red right off the bat, there's a chance that I'm going to kind of lose the pattern that we have set down. And then we have the yellow. The yellow is also tag paint. And now we're dealing with the star. So what we're doing here is we're taking like the regular yellow, and we're only painting half of each of these little diamonds. That's because we're going to try to give the illusion of this being more 3D. So we're going to use a darker color on the other halves of this. I'm going to take that yellow and a little bit of Mehron brown, just a tiny bit. And then we're going to paint that other half of it, this kind of yellowish brown mixture that we've made. This is going to help give the illusion that this is more three-dimensional. Now we have the blue. This is actually a Ben Nye blue. This is Ben Nye Magicake Aqua Paint. And I swap back and forth between my larger Filbert brushes, foundation brushes, and my detail brushes. After that mid part painted, then of course we get right below the star. And now we can go ahead and fill in the red on those shoulder thingies. So now I'm taking some brown on kind of a smaller brush, and there's kind of this diagonal pattern that's on those panels right there. Also the neck area is kind of separated, which is why I put that line right there. And now we have some more structure for us to play with. And I took probably my skinniest brush. This is the Kryolan #1 detail brush. It is one of my favorite brushes. And I went ahead and I outlined the star. The lining did get a little bit wonky, and I did, for the most part, fix this later. And I went ahead and used that Kryolan #1, and this is Mehron black paints, and I outlined pretty much everything. I went back in with some white, and I highlighted the brighter parts of the star in the middle, And then I also took a little bit of white and I started around the edges, but we're gonna go heavier into highlighting later. So this is just kind of more to begin to make those areas pop. So then I mixed a little bit of the blue with some Mehron white, and I began to highlight the chest area, as well as highlighting some lighter points. And this is the yellow paint again, but what I'm kind of doing is I'm rubbing it into the red just a tiny bit, so it kind of you're kind of like mixing them together right on your body. And then the more and more layers of the stuff that you add on, the brighter and brighter it's going to look. I really hate it whenever something looks really flat, so I feel like this is where my addiction to texture really comes out. And then you basically just keep layering and layering and layering on this yellow. Make sure you get all the edges where something is layered. Around the collar is one of my favorite places to really highlight. I also really loved doing this to the shoulders. There's also some more like these diagonal shapes down where the blue is, so I went ahead and I added those as well. And now I'm taking some teal paint, this is Mehron Paradise Paints, and doing some highlighting with that. And now we're going back with the black and we're going to intensify some of those outlines. It's okay to go a little bit ham on the outlines, just because like that's also one reason I really like the comic booky style, is because sometimes you have like these really insane dark lines and it's just something like really satisfying the way it can really pull some stuff together. And now I'm taking some white and I'm just basically putting some more pop onto all of our highlights that we just did. For the most part too, as this yellow dries, it's going to mix a tiny bit with the colors underneath it. So you're not really going to end up with this perfectly bright white. It's going to settle itself down. Some white onto that blue as well. And there it is. You are officially Captain Marvel. Congratulations. This has been PTBarpun. Whatever day it is that you're seeing this, I hope you're having a good one, and I will see you the next time I do video stuff.